Live.
What's up, everybody? Saltiest Gaming, and we're back with another podcast. T.S.P, episode 26, in the building.
Hey, let's go.
Hey, I have to say, the fact that you actually know the number that you're on is something special because I don't even remember the number I'm on.
Indeed.
You know, I screw that number up. I have to look up like the video history. I'm like, what number are we on again?
Oh man,
shit's crazy. So yeah, I was talking to Mel earlier, and I was debating whether or not to get another coffee, and she talked me into it. So if I sound like a crackhead, that's the problem. You know, that's the fault. Like, I had too much coffee tonight. And when we were talking in our DMs, man, the energy was super high in there. So I can't imagine what it's gonna be like tonight. Shout out to all the people in the chat right now.
Don't ever question getting another coffee. You always need the coffee.
Hey, that much is true, man. If you ever question, hey, do I need another coffee? Half time is because you're tired anyway. So the answer is yes, every time. Every time.
I mean,
if your heart feels like you're gonna have a heart attack, just keep going.
I'm probably the outlier here, as I can't stand coffee. The smell,
lame.
The smell, I can't
stand.
Every time I've had it, I've gotten sick.
No wonder why you're never in the CCC.
Whack.
Get out of here.
I knew there was a reason why I was upset. I knew there was a reason why I was upset when Salty was like, all right, he's going to be a full member. I was like, well, hold on. This dude doesn't like coffee. I don't know if he's going to have the energy level.
Look, y'all have coffee. I have hardcore psychotic drugs. Let me do my cocaine in peace.
Who's playing that music? I'm going to have to mute you.
Not me.
No. I don't hear any music.
Hold on. It might be me. Let me check.
Nick.
Oh,
hey,
it sounds like we're in a club right now. Do you guys hear that?
I'm a rookie.
I do not.
All right,
maybe it's not checking.
So I have a superior sound system, Salty.
What's up, Xbot in the chat? What's going on, buddy?
Oh man.
Oh, dude. It's been a good day though for news. It's been a good day for a lot of things, man. This week has just been phenomenal.
It really has. True, like, there's been so many things that haven't been like confirmed that are finally are, and people are just like, well, we knew this is coming, but it's great to see that, and it's just awesome.
Oh heck yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, not only that, but we have announcements of new games. We have announcements of just new things that are happening. And then plus, I mean, now that I have the X, seeing all of these games that are being enhanced, that are going to be enhanced, it's just, I'm loving it, dude. This week has been amazing.
Yo, it's about time. I can't wait to play PUBG with you you got an X now.
Hey, oh, I know, right?
Hey, congratulations to my man Native for getting that X.
Heck yeah, a round of applause, chat.
So it's so much better. That's awesome, Native.
Congratulations to Native for getting that X. Finally.
Welcome.
It's a shame the Nintendo guy in the group gets it before he does, but good job.
I've got to be honest here and shoot all of that congratulatory applause to my wife, because she's the only reason why I have it. She surprised the hell out of me with it. I mean,
shouts out to Native's wife. Shouts out to Native's wife.
Indeed. I'm not taking credit for that.
Oh man,
it's crazy day. I was watching Nick Tendo Fury. If you guys don't know who that is, it's not a new person. That's Nick Fury. He
yes sir.
Rebranded himself, got a new picture. I think he's still male though. Anyway,
that's debatable.
Hey, man, don't hate on my picture. I love my picture.
He was covering that Nintendo Direct, which we will talk about later on. So he'll hit us up with some knowledge. Okay. So what have you guys been playing this week? You guys been playing anything?
That Monster Hunter still the life though.
Oh yeah.
Rainbow Six Siege Outbreak.
Nice. How is that?
I was scared at first, and then I just enjoyed it, and then I don't know. It's cool, but you kind of it loses the I don't know the
free factor
word. Yeah, it like loses that anxiety feel really quickly. So I mean, I like it, but I don't see longevity in it.
It's true.
Isn't it only a week though? Anyways,
like a month, I think, or less than.
Yeah, I played it as well, and I got bored the second time I played it, I think. So
see, one of the biggest complaints I've seen about it is a lot of people said, "Oh yeah, it's cool," but they're like the fast-moving zombies like take away from the like slow cover-based like shooting mechanics of typical gunplay, so it makes it like not as fun. It really takes away that aspect of being tactical. Exactly. Like if they wanted something fast paced and like full on rushing zombies, a lot of people said that they'd rather just play Left 4 Dead or something like that.
Yeah, and the graphics feel dated to me personally. There's a lot of smoke and clouds. It's hard to see, and the graphics feel really dated even on the X. So they need that Xbox One X patch. I don't know if that's going to go in before this goes away. But anyway, it's a fun game mode. If you already have the game, it's free. So you should check that out definitely. As far as myself, I've been playing some Super Lucky's Tale because I'm a fraud.
Hey, look, I still want that game because I still do want to play that.
Hey, honestly, it's pretty good. It's not like I'm addicted to it, but I'll play it for 20 minutes and because it's free with Game Pass and all that good stuff. So
yeah, it's a good game, and you can do a lot in 20 to 30 minutes with it. You can run through a little level or something. It's a good game, I think so. So kudos to you for actually giving it a chance.
Definitely. Too many people hate it. Yeah, too many people hating on that game, and a lot of people said it's very reminiscent to old school.
But yet you have these people. But yet you have people out there that are excited that Crash Bandicoot's coming to Xbox. I mean, come on, what?
Yeah,
it's true.
Yo, I just like platformers. I'm excited for Crash Bandicoot. I'll say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Get him, Native.
Yeah,
So,
both.
That's your opinion, and you're entitled to it.
So yeah, I've been playing that. I've been playing Rise of the Tomb Raider. That game's phenomenal. Been playing
About time.
That's in Game Pass as well. I actually had that game before it went to Game Pass, and I just never got to it. So I'm just trying to get dig through the backlog before I get new games like Far Cry and all these other ones that are on the docket. So what else have you guys been up to? What have you been playing, Jago?
I'm doing Smite in the PUBG
Oh yeah.
all week.
Ooh, my boy with the Smite, man. You got to invite me to some Smite. I'm okay, but I need to play some Smite. I need some Smite friends, man. All my Smite friends dropped off, so I need to come back to that. But I haven't played it, man. So
I'm on every day. I'm on every day.
Damn, that's intense.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's get 30 likes. We're getting close to that. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into the introductions. We have 3 special guests tonight. We have one returning old member. We have Nintendo Direct.
What's up?
How's it going, buddy? I want to introduce you as a guest because I never got the chance when you were a full-time member. I want everybody to know your gaming history and where you come from, bro, and why you decided to do that rebrand for your channel.
All right. Well, we're going to start with the gaming history. So gaming history, growing up, I was a Nintendo kid. My mom got me the regular NES when I was about 3 or 4. Just as a little tryout thing. She wanted to know if I was really going to be interested in playing video games. And that might have ended up being the biggest mistake of her life because I quickly became addicted to playing video games. So I played Mario 1, Mario 2, Mario 3. That was really the gist of what I did when I was a little kid, because when you're 3 or 4, like, what else are you going to play? So when I turned about 5 or 6, she got me a Super Nintendo. And I mean, I just played Super Nintendo. My favorite games on the Super Nintendo, like Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars, Super Metroid, Mario Kart, of course, Mario World. Those are just some off the top of my head. And then here's the funny thing after that is whenever I got a little bit older, I wanted a Nintendo 64. My buddy had a Nintendo 64, and my mom decided that she was going to be cheap and go with the cheaper option at the time, and she got me a PlayStation. So I had to go roll with a PlayStation for a little bit, and then eventually got a 64, and then got the GameCube. So I've been pretty much a Nintendo dude, like growing up all the way until the Wii came out, and I was really upset with the Wii because I saw what Xbox Live was, and I thought, man, Nintendo needs to do that, and they never did it. And so I sold my Wii, and I spent about maybe 2 years not playing video games for a little bit, and then I got an Xbox 360, and then that was the end of it. And so I was just an Xbox dude all the way up until the One X, and then recently my Nintendo purchase of the Switch kind of brought back the kid in me again. And so that was kind of why I rebranded myself, because getting the Switch and it brought back my passion for gaming, and it brought back, when you were a little kid, and it just brought back memories, really. And so getting the Switch just made me really reopen my passion for gaming. So I just decided to go back and I cover Nintendo and cover everything in Nintendo pretty much, going back to my roots pretty much. And so that's just the history. Really, it's just a lot of Nintendo. I was upset at Nintendo for a little bit, got an Xbox, and then finally got a Switch again, and now I'm back. So there you go. That's my gaming history.
Sweet, man. It's good to have you back, man. A lot of people don't know, but Nick was there in the beginning when this was Dad's a Gaming podcast. It was just me and him with a couple people, and it's a pleasure to have you back.
Death Mobile. There's a lot of people there, man.
Death Mobile was there. It was like in the middle of the night. It's crazy, man.
It was awesome.
I appreciate. Yeah, it was sweet, man. Next up, snaps, it's Mel. What's going on?
What'd I do? What's up? I was just sneaking in a little bit of work while I was like listening to Nick talk about his gaming history.
So one thing that we got to get going is you need to get sponsored by a coffee brand, like that would be sweet.
What?
Real talk. I'm
going to tell you guys something. I reached out to these people on Twitter because I really like their stuff. It's like Iron something coffee. They're really cool. I sent them a nice long email, well thought out. Everything. They didn't even read it, so it's whatever. But I definitely do need to get sponsored by coffee people because that's why I'm so like right now. What the hell?
Are you always like tweaking on coffee?
Milk?
Huh? Yeah, some interesting stuff in chat.
Ass milk.
LGB, LBG, whatever. No, LGB. That's your name from now. LGB. I'm not even calling you LBG. LBG. Whatever.
Yeah, shout out to LBG for sure, dude. He's definitely an awesome member of the community. So, Mel, you have your own podcast, and I want to hear about that, and I want to know about your gaming history briefly so that people can hear it.
Well, I'm going to start with my gaming history briefly first because that's what brought me here to where we are chatting today. When I was a kid, my parents, they had all the newest technology, even though like way back in the 80s and the 90s, because I'm old, they just bought everything. So I was always into it. And I played Atari, Nintendo, all that good stuff. And then as I was a teen, probably when I was a teen, it really wasn't cool to be a gamer, at least not that I knew of. Kids were really rude and mean in school. And I just let go of it for a while. And then probably when I had my first son in 2005, geez, I'm having trouble thinking about my kid's birthday. That's horrible. So when I had my first son, I got into PC gaming a little bit. And then I got into, the hell is that game? Shit, Counter-Strike. Sorry. Are we allowed to curse here?
Yeah, that's fine.
I was like, oh no, I said a bad word. So I got into Counter-Strike, and then I got a PS2, and I really love Burnout Takedown. That was my favorite game. And then a couple years later, Xbox 360. And I mean, I'm sure there's much more in between, but we're keeping it brief. So yeah, here I am. Xbox and me got together, and that's how, one way that we communicated before we ever got together was through gaming. So it's kind of odd, I know, but it's not where we met. So yeah, I'm a casual gamer. I like to keep it casual. And I know that a lot of people take it to heart, but it's just gaming, guys. Remember that. And then Coffee Casuals and Consoles. I just enjoy the whole podcasting aspect. I like being on the next podcast, but I couldn't do it every Saturday because of my job. So I just started to do something that was good with my schedule, which is the morning. And I love coffee. So I was like, screw it. We're going to call it Coffee Casuals and Consoles. And while it's still small, I don't ever expect to be a huge podcast, but it is an enjoyable time for me. Excuse me. Work has been calling me ever since we got started. It's so frustrating, but it's just like my peace of mind. So I really enjoy it, and I thank everybody in the community for checking it out. It's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. And
I'm really brief.
What's cool about it is you keep it, casual, and you keep it's just low key, like we like to keep it here at TSP. Like I said before, this is kind of just us hanging out on the panel with everybody hanging out in the chat. We're talking about gaming, crack a beer, whatever you have, and let's talk about games because we're all passionate about it, and this is what it's all about. So I appreciate you coming on. Next up, Titan Drago. Me and you met in a party chat when I think it was Dealer's Party, and I had a chance to check your YouTube channel out, and it was very entertaining to say the least. It got me laughing. Can you let everybody know what your channel's about and what your gaming history is all about?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a newer channel. Started probably in October-ish. I've been a hardcore gamer my whole life. Mel's the casual. I'm hardcore, and by hardcore, I mean, I'm basically playing every day. It's, it's a big part of my life.
Jealous.
It's one of my biggest, my biggest hobby, and one of my biggest passions. And my other passion is music. So when I created my channel, I just put my two passions together. I got the gaming, got the music side, and that's where gaming and music come together, is on my channel at Titan Drago. And yeah, you saw the my video. We didn't start console wars.
We didn't start the whole war.
Yeah. Yeah, and you were like, I wish I was in it. I was like, man, well, if I would have known you when I made it, I was like, you definitely would have been in it, man. But this is only my second podcast, so I mean, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, shout out to all the Tide Pod lovers out there in chat. We got some crazy shit going on, man. This is what I love. It is lit already, if you guys haven't seen it. And the cool thing about it is YouTube has this cool feature where if you don't check out the show live, you can see what's going on in chat later on. So you can see the shenanigans that are happening on it. It's awesome. Shout out to YouTube for adding that feature. It's definitely fun to go back, and it actually, like, if you skip forward through the video, it will show you the current chat. So like if you come to this time step, it will have Tide Pods and Bleach and all that other stuff. So good shit guys. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for being guests. We're gonna have a fun time tonight. Let's get to the regular panel members. Before we do that, I just want to say shout out to Punk. He's going through some things, some personal issues and family things, so he can't make it again, but our thoughts are with you. I think I saw him in chat or whatever. So getting to one of the regular panel members, Irrelevant Native. What's going on, buddy?
Yo. Sorry, my bad. I had my mic on mute. I was checking something out, but no, everything's going good, man. Just got off of work early to get here like I normally do. And just hanging out today, man. Had a long day, really long day, but this week has just been phenomenal. For news, for gaming, everything. And like we said earlier, well, like you guys said earlier, the whole Xbox One X thing, I've been playing so many different games just to check them out. The first thing I did was turned on the Xbox One X, downloaded every single game that I had that was X enhanced, and then just, in order, just went through them to see what they look like, to see how they played, what it looked like, check out the different performance, and just the two different performance modes for most of them, and it's just so damn good. Gears of War 4 is amazing. I'm probably going to be spending way more time on that than anything else because it looks and feels so damn good. So it's been great, man. It's been great. Been a hell of a week. Just can't wait to get into these topics, dude. Let's go.
Yes, sir. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Awesome. Last but not least, Bloody Knuckles. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, Salty, man? Like I said, like Native there, today was a good day because I actually got to get off a little bit early to be able to be on time. And I know that Nick over there is excited, but Native did mention a good thing, is that this week has been a great week for news. So much good stuff for all systems. Like it's not just like for some of us which are passionate about Xbox. It's been, especially today for Ask Nick, great news for Nintendo, and I'm excited for a lot of the stuff that came out. Then of course, we've gotten some small things from Sony, so it's always good to see this kind of news and excitement all across the community. We are still gamers. We gotta remember that first and foremost. No matter whether you're casual or hardcore, it's always about the games first, and it's one of those things that we gotta remember. We stuck together back in the day when people used to make fun of us. Let's not turn on ourselves now.
True. Preach that, man. Preach that for real. Preach that, honestly, because that's how I feel, man. Like, what happened to the day when gamers used to be the losers, and we used to be the losers hanging out at each other's house, no matter what console we played, no matter what platform we played. We were always at each other's houses hanging out, and then all of a sudden, the internet comes out. The internet becomes more prevalent, and all of a sudden, now we got to hate each other. That makes no sense. You know what I mean? Like, we're all in it together.
Like
100%.
Exactly, because when I grew up on my street, like I had a PS1. My cousin across the street had a Nintendo 64,
and your friend had the Xbox.
Yeah, and then my neighbor next door had a Sega Genesis and a Super Nintendo. We were all at each other's houses playing all the different systems because we all had something different. Like,
that's exactly right.
That's the way it should be. It shouldn't be like I have an Xbox, you have a PlayStation. You can go, get the hell out of here because I don't like you. No, we're supposed to be always that way, man. It sucks that it's so divisive now.
You know what? I use the term pony often, and it's not like a PlayStation pony is not like if you like PlayStation, no, that's fine and all. It's like when you cross a line of ridiculousness that you're a pony. You're just being an idiot, Like you play Nintendo, yeah, man, that's all good. Let's all play together. I wish we could all play together if PlayStation would allow more crossplay or whatever, but
you're not wrong. The people who throw pony and Xbox and all that stuff around like it's nothing don't realize that those are names for the extremists, the ones who absolutely don't look at anything like that. That's exactly the part that gets ridiculous, is the fact that we use it so casually towards everyone when that's not right. The way that it is.
See, what I think is absolutely ridiculous is the fact that you can say there are extremist gamers. That is so stupid to me.
Yeah, that does sound it's the sad truth when we have to look at it like that. Like,
yes, sir.
There's every type of person out there, man.
Yeah. So I just wanted to let everybody know that I hate Native, not because he's a gamer, just because I hate him.
Very simple.
Hey, I mean,
man, I'm just a little jealous of his shot in PUBG.
Oh
yeah. Hey, I'm just glad that I can actually be on a podcast with some chill people, no matter what platform you play on. I mean, and people in the chat, yeah, we can joke, but I know that most people in the chat are chill people too, very open-minded. So yeah, man, I'm glad to actually be on a podcast that's actually, pretty chill. So let's get into those topics.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's
spread that love.
So
that's all.
Our first topic of the night. It's breaking news, honestly. So you guys ready for this?
Oh no!
When we were watching Nintendo Direct, I was watching it with my friend Nick here. Crash Bandicoot, out of the woodworks from left field, apparently is dropping on all platforms on July 10th, 2018. There was some rumors out there that this game was coming out in December, or it was coming to Xbox. It wasn't coming to Xbox, but now we got official confirmation that Crash, he's a character that, honestly, when I think about gaming and I think about Crash, I think about PlayStation. Let's be honest, okay? Because he did a lot of commercials. They had him on a lot of commercials, a lot of advertisements over the years. So definitely, here's the deal. A lot of fanboys have been triggered over this news, and it's unfortunate because it's a good game that's going to be going on the Switch, which is basically made for this type of game, right?
Yeah,
and then it's going to go on the Xbox One, and it's going to look good. It's going to sit there next to Lucky's Tale, Super Lucky's Tale. It's not going to be as good as Super Lucky's Tale, but it's going to be there. So let's talk about this, guys. What do you guys think about this news here?
Let me start with one fact here. The fact that the thing that Crash is only associated with PlayStation. It's not a PlayStation IP. It's owned by Activision. So let's be honest. Let's start there. So Activision can do whatever they want with it. And if they want to put it on multiple platforms, they can put it on multiple platforms. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So
exactly.
Let's start there. Now the news that it's come. Why? Here's my thing, bro. I'm sorry. Like, King said something in the Iron podcast or the Iron Lords podcast the other day, and it stuck with me, and I hold it dear. He said if a game comes to a platform, like, why would you turn it down? Like, so, and I know this Sony fanboys are mad, but like, why would you get upset? One, the game hasn't even been like on Sony for a while now. I mean, and we're only getting the Insane Trilogy, which is like what, the first
3 games,
the first three games in the remastered, whatever. So it's just a remaster on top of that. It's not like we're getting a brand new game, which rumor is Nintendo's going to get the brand new game, but that's a different story. But but it just blows my mind. Like, people, Get over yourselves, dude. It's Activision. They can do what they want. If they want to make money, they're gonna make their money wherever the heck they can, and you just have to take that L. That's it. And it's not even your L. It's not like PlayStation turning their back on you. It's Activision. So just chill out. That's what I got to say about that.
Who else has some thoughts on this, man?
I have thoughts on this because Nick's right. Because one, I do understand where people are coming from with the fact that they associate it with Sony. It started out with Sony, yes, back in the day, because that was their mascot from Naughty Dog. But after, what was it, the third game, when they started doing the open world on the PS2, and then they had one that came out on the original Xbox, if people forgot, that's when Activision bought it. So he is absolutely correct on that. It hasn't been associated with just Sony in at least a decade. Okay, let's put that out there. And he's right. Activision putting forward to put money into it to all platforms is a great thing, because it means that they're going to gauge the interest from all people for this franchise and be able to start looking at possibly bringing it back, which is a great thing, because Crash was a very big character and a franchise way back in the day. It is a classic, as Punk is putting out in the chat right now. It really is. And the fact that they're getting that mad over it, they need to stop, because one, it's only done 2.5 million across almost 70 million consoles. That's great that it's gotten the success that it did, but they're not supporting it with the numbers that it should be doing for something that's so lauded and closely hailed to Sony. And now that they're opening it up to more, now they're gonna complain about it. No, stop.
Hey, honestly, it's Activision, guys. Like,
yeah, exactly.
They want to make money, so
money.
You know, it was just a matter of time, right? So
it was a matter of time, because Activision has no problems when it comes to third-party developers, especially publishers like Activision. They have no problem quickly associating that and putting that on another platform. That's why I don't understand the people who are getting upset about it. Like, if it was coming directly from Sony, I can understand, but no, it's not coming from them. It's coming from Activision.
Money.
Yeah.
So, Drago, what's your thoughts, man? You a Crash fan?
No, not really. I mostly play multiplayer games. You know, my gamer score reflects that. I'm gaming every day, dang near, for the last 10 years, you know, since I was in the Navy. So, I mean, unless it comes out with a multiplayer mode.
Ooh, the big guy.
Native, any thoughts?
On Crash Bandicoot coming over? No, just let it come over. I mean, really, my wife loves the hell out of Crash Bandicoot. She is not a gamer in any sense of the word. She is nowhere near anywhere somebody that you would ever consider a gamer. But she does have fond memories of playing Crash. Her brother's PlayStation 1, playing the first Crash Bandicoot, and she has very fond memories of that. A couple of years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, I actually went out and bought an original PlayStation, bought all of the Crash Bandicoot games and gave it to her. Then we held on to that for about, I don't know, 6 months, and then she got rid of it. So it was just something that's like, hey, you know what? Yeah. But if it's coming to fucking Xbox, let it come to Xbox. If it's gonna go to Switch, let it go to Switch. You know, the more the merrier, dude.
I will play that crap portable.
I know you would. Switch will definitely put the sales in it. Let them go.
Heck yeah, dude. You know, these little kids catching up on Crash Bandicoot, and you know, just that new generation.
Shoot, kids
getting that. I know you old fart. I know you'll be playing it. Damn. But no, I'm glad that it's coming. I'm glad that it's being, you know, set out to other platforms to see how well it does. And who knows, maybe if Activision sees enough people purchasing it, they'll eventually want to come out with a brand new one. You know, maybe a sequel, maybe some kind of spin-off, maybe a Super Lucky's Tale Crash Bandicoot team up. You know what I mean?
Ooh, that would be dope. That would be dope.
That'd be awesome, because they do
play squirrel and a bandicoot, whatever a bandicoot is.
It's like a weird dog thing. It really is.
See, that's what turns me off from that game, is the fact that I have no idea what the hell that animal is. And I have never really cared for Crash Bandicoot whatsoever, never played it, probably never will. But I apologize for cutting anybody off. It's just not something for me. And I forget who said it. I apologize. If it had multiplayer, I would probably give it a shot. And if it's on Xbox, because I do have a PlayStation, but I hardly use it, to be honest. And yeah, basically, and Dust Collector, Paperweight, you know, the list goes on. But if it was on Xbox, and let's say I wanted to play with my kids and it's multiplayer, I probably would give it a shot. I think, the real issue is like people do anything they can to start an argument on the internet. And 90% of the time it's for clicks and stuff like that. So it makes it really difficult to really hear people on certain topics. Like, this coming to Xbox. And it's definitely confirmed, you say?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was confirmed.
Because the last I heard is rumor. I'm like, oh snap! So this is true.
Nintendo confirmed it.
Yeah, it's like it's weird that rumors
right?
sometimes come out to be true, right? It's
So weird.
crazy concept, right?
And shout out to
Absolutely.
Christina. They clarified that a bandicoot is actually a marsupial in Australia.
It's ugly. It's really
So
ugly.
there's your
All I have
scientific
to
fact
say
for the
is
day,
little
right?
Baga. Okay,
So-
that's all I have to say.
So that's
Shut
enough
up,
for
Nick.
Mr. Bandicoot, Mr. Crash Bandicoot. It's exciting news for the Switch and the Xbox, but if you like it, then pick it up. If not, then I guess we'll move on. So anyway, the next topic
Exactly.
for the night is another game possibly coming over from PlayStation to only Xbox this time. It might go to the Switch. Who knows? But Hellblade
Doubt it.
is a popular game that came out in August on PlayStation and PC. So a lot of people will say, well, it came out on PlayStation and PC, so it wasn't exclusive. But a lot of people touted this as a PlayStation exclusive. So and a lot of people said it wasn't going to be going to the Xbox. But there's been some rumblings, and this game was rated. So it's being rated in Taiwan and Australia. So what this means is, why would you re-rate a game that's already been released? And so since it's being rated, it's kind of pointing towards a release on a different console. Ooh. And so what I've been saying for a long time is, I think that there's a 1-year exclusivity deal between PlayStation and Hellblade. The people at Ninja Theory, they needed to get this game out and get it to the biggest audience they could. So they chose the PlayStation platform because hopefully it would make them the most money. I don't know if that worked out for them or not. They did make money and it was successful. But the fact that it potentially can come to Xbox is amazing news. This game is a very highly rated game. I've talked to a lot of people that have played it. They loved it. It looks outstanding on the PlayStation 4 Pro, and I can only imagine what it would look like on the X. So let's talk about this, guys. Are you excited for the potential release of Hellblade on the Xbox?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
This is like one of those things that I'm only excited for it because of the hype that surrounds the game. Like, does it have multiplayer? No, but so many people are saying such good things about it that it kind of excites me.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I'm the exact opposite of you. Normally, when a game is overhyped, I turn away from it, and I'm like, you know what? I really don't want to play that because
you're botting pretty bad. If you want to back out and then come back in, who else?
Yeah, that's fine.
Nick,
What's up?
you excited about Hellblade coming to Xbox or what?
Yeah, man. Because whenever you made the video about it on YouTube, and I commented, "Hey, I can finally play it." I don't have a PlayStation. I have an Xbox One X, and I have a Nintendo Switch. I don't have a PlayStation yet. And there's some franchises on the PlayStation that I want to get, but I don't want to fork over the money to play them. And this one was one of them ones that I really wanted to play. After reading about it, seeing some clips of it, reading about what it was about, and it was just one I really really wanted to play. But I was like, you know what, I don't want to fork over however much cash I need to fork over to get a PlayStation to play it. And whenever you made this video, I was like, oh my goodness, finally. I hope this news is true because, like Drago said, it's hyped and it did well. We saw it all over the video game awards when we watched it. It got awards for everything. So it's been a good game and we've seen it. So now it's coming to Xbox. Well, we don't know if it's coming, but it potentially could be coming to Xbox. And that's nothing but good news for people on Xbox. And that's really all there is to it. So I will be playing it. I don't know if Sony Boys took an L with this one, but
so the thing that I want to ask you guys, did you guys happen to catch the rumors that were going around on social media about Microsoft not wanting any part of this game because it was controversial and it had to deal with mental illnesses? Did you guys catch that?
I didn't.
Storyline?
I did not. I heard nothing
about that story from that because
I'm not going to say personally who said it or who started it, but they said that they had sources. And when I heard this, I'm just like, that doesn't add up to me, right? It doesn't make sense that Microsoft would do this. They have a lot of mature, controversial games that they've had on the platform.
Halo, I mean,
And
people getting killed
it just
all
sounded
going
like
forth.
something to stir the pot,
Right,
right?
that makes no
To
sense.
get controversy.
That makes no
going,
sense. Why
you know?
why would they want to? And on top of that, the game was made to help for some people to realize and to realize what it's like, or to get more experience of what it's like to have mental illness, so you can understand. Why would Xbox not want that on their platform? That makes zero sense.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I've kind of come out on this, and we've talked about this before, so that games have hit the pinnacle of art, and we're at the point where we're able to tell more mature and very, very different stories that we never could back in the day. We kind of saw the starting of that last generation with a game like BioShock. Look at how big of a controversy that stirred up because of the twist ending that we had with one of the biggest plot twists that came out in a game. And to understand everything that was happening, why is that bad? Like, this game was heavily praised for the story it was telling, and I had my eyes on it for a long time. And the fact that it didn't get the sales or support that it deserved was very sad. I'm glad that it did do the numbers that it did, because Ninja Theory is a great studio. They've done some great adaptations, because they did the original the reboot of Devil May Cry. And that was a well done reboot. I had my issues with the story, but it was still well done. And this was something that was so unique in itself, because I like the aspect of it going into what's real, what's not. Is everything that you're seeing, everything you're witnessing, actually something there, or is it all in your head? And I've always thought that was interesting. And the fact that they heavily delved into that, with the fact that a lot of people said that people with headphones hear the whispers.
Oh yeah.
And the gameplay, and it freaks people out. Like, that's amazing. The fact that people are complaining that more people get to experience this is I don't understand.
It's
that
shouts of
logic.
jealousy is what that is.
It is. Like, honestly, like, people complain and state that, oh, they could just go stream it. It's not the same thing. I understand streaming. Streaming is great for party games and things like Fortnite and others. And, maybe you want to watch someone play a story or have that hands-off approach with, like, Telltale games. But this is something that you have to experience for yourself.
So I asked chat if they'd pick it up, or two, if they wouldn't. And I'm seeing lots of ones, definitely. So it looks like it would be a game that a lot of people would pick up. And then I did a Twitter poll a couple days ago. I said, if Hellblade dropped on the Xbox, would you buy it? There was 156 votes. 54% said yes. 15 said no. 15 said only if it's enhanced. And then 15% said, what is Hellblade? So it's pretty.
I'm with the what is Hellblade.
Yeah, go ahead. So you haven't heard about the game? Okay.
I have heard about it. I just have no desire to play it. Never watched any gameplay of it, and it's single player, so it doesn't really appeal to me.
That's true. So it's definitely not for everybody, but I think visually this is one of the most impressive games that I've seen this generation, and that isn't even with the X. That's
that is my intrigue with it. That is my intrigue with it. If it was to come to Xbox, if it got that enhancement, just to see how good that game would look with the enhancement, that is part of the intrigue.
And you have to think that's coming from a small team, and they didn't even sell it as a full price game. They sold it for, what was it, $30-$40? Like, that is a game that deserves everything, and the way that it just looks is just phenomenal. It's beautiful.
We're gonna be talking about a lot of $30 games tonight.
Yeah, we
are.
I was gonna say that you're touching upon a subject that we're definitely gonna get to, because some people think that $30 equals bad game, lower quality, not as much time spent on developing. Native, did you get your connection fixed? Are you back from getting abducted by aliens? Good talk.
Well, apparently he's still fighting with the probe right now, so let that be.
It's true. So it's great news that we're going to be getting, hopefully, getting another game on Xbox, especially a game like this, because I think, it's a unique game. It's new. It's visually stunning. So we'll see if that actually turns out to be true. Let's talk about this $30 situation. Okay, you guys didn't know, State of Decay was rumored, had this rumored price for a while. It was in the UK. There was some sites putting out the price point before it was official. And then this spread like wildfire around the internet, in the communities. A lot of people were like, oh, State of Decay, it's coming out at $30. This is going to be another Recore. State of Decay, it's coming out at $30. They're not even spending their time on it. It's going to be garbage. It's just like, okay, So we'll get into that. We'll get into that topic. But what I want to say is State of Decay 2 had a 25-minute gameplay on IGN. They talked about the release date. They talked about pricing. So this game's going to be coming out in May, and it's going to be $30 for the base price, and I think $45 or $50 for the deluxe version. So you have options there, and the game looks phenomenal. I'm actually running through the first game again because I didn't really get into it, and I'm honestly getting really addicted to the game already with all of its flaws. It's really buggy or whatever, but the co-op in this game looks second to none. It's like, you know, a lot of people were talking about Left 4 Dead and comparing it to, you know, that was the last true 4-player co-op zombie experience, but that was a little bit more cartoony to me. This is more.
And did that have
realistic.
permadeath? This one's got permadeath.
Yeah, this one has permadeath. It has diseases. It has.
Can you imagine how pissed you're gonna get at your friends when they let you die? You know, that guy's dead forever.
Right, real talk, man. Don't.
Yo, and you gotta think.
I will rage.
And you're not wrong about that, because you got to think too, this has an RPG system. So right, so the longer you use your character, the more you're going to level it up, the more you're going to increase its skills. If you lose that character, it is going to hurt badly.
Yeah,
it's true.
Now, do you get multiple characters?
You do.
No, you can start another character, but it's not going to have all your levels and all the stuff that you've got. Like,
yeah.
I wonder if you're going to be able to run multiple different characters at the same time, which is what I think he was asking, which the first game you could. So I would imagine you will be able to on this one, but I don't know.
I
like different save slots or something like that? Is that what you're saying?
No, you could switch between characters back in the, in the first game. But those were survivors that you had in your community. So I believe if you're playing single player, I believe they stated that it's going to be the same, where you have the people in your community that you could take with you that are actually survivors that you can use. But when you actually die the character you're playing, I believe you'll actually spawn as a brand new character at your home base, and you'll have to pick up there and re-level the character that you're with.
I would imagine you just respawn as one of your followers or whatever you call it.
That's gonna be a bummer, dude. Y'all better not let me die in this game. Real talk.
Hey, honestly, there's gonna be
as long as you stick with the group and don't get separated, man. Remember, don't split the team. Don't split the team.
Getting back to the first game, like, it does give you that feel like when you're exiting your safe zone, that you have actual consequences to your actions in the game, which is unique, right? Because typically in a game, there's like the save mechanic. You can get to a spot where you can save it, or there's checkpoints. In this type of game, if you go out and you make the wrong decisions and you get in, like, you encounter a horde that you can't take care of, if you die and you've spent months on your character, or your character's been alive for months, I know personally, I might have to use some older controllers, because I might throw them at the TV. I might have to get a new TV. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow.
Like, what would you do if if you only have like one antidote for the diseases that they have, and you have to choose between two friends, man? I mean,
decisions must be made,
right? You know,
I'm gonna have to have like Native and Nick there. They're gonna have to go into a smash match, and whoever wins gets to live.
Well,
you just gave me the title already.
You said Smash, right? You said Smash, right? Well, someone's got to get a Switch first.
Oh.
So there you go. I automatically get that dub. I can show up. He can't.
Oh, shout out to who was this? Someone was talking about the base building.
Shameless said, "Let Nick die." Decision. No.
Exactly. Thank you, Shameless.
I mean, for some people, the decision will be pretty easy, but it should be interesting.
When we get in there, and you get off. Remember when I got that antidote? I'm gonna keep it in my pocket.
As soon as I log into State of Decay 2 and I see your little avatar pop up on the screen, I'm gonna hit you with the shovel. I'm gonna go just ham.
You're not gonna do that. Everybody hating in here, man. That's what that is, man. Everybody hating. Black guy gotta die, man. Why? Why?
Don't worry, Nick. I'll come with the car and I'll run over Native and save you.
The diversity's real.
So what do you guys think about the price point, man? Do you guys think it has to do with the whole Game Pass situation? And
oh god, no.
I don't see. The thing is, I think they're just okay. Here's my rant. Okay, this is gonna be a salty rant for
do it
a little bit. Okay, what exclusives have Xbox gamers bought this generation? I'll wait. You guys want to talk about it in the chat? Okay, the answer is 0. Okay.
Word.
And you can look at my games list because I bought them all because I don't know, I wanted to play them. But here's the fact. We complain when the price is too high. We complain when it's too low. We complain about single player experiences. We complain about multiplayer experiences. We complain about microtransactions. We complain about zombie games. We complain about everything. But the fact of the matter is, Microsoft is trying to be consumer friendly, and the fact is, this is the model going forward. They want you to actually buy the game. It's a concept that is surprising, right? The company wants you to pay for one of the games they're making. The question isn't whether or not you're going to buy third-party AAA big blockbusters like the Destinies and all this other shit. The question is whether you're going to support your company. That's why they're going to this games as service model, because it needs to happen. Okay, people aren't buying exclusives. It doesn't matter what the game is. It doesn't matter if it's single player, multiplayer, nothing. You guys aren't buying them. So here's the deal: if you guys have an issue with a $30 price point, you don't understand the way games are marketed or the way they're developed. Okay, because I've had a lot of experiences in gaming with the $30 price point. It's been some of my favorite experiences. You don't have to look any further to Cuphead and to game. I didn't play Hellblade, but that was, received well. So it doesn't matter what the price point is. But as far as it comes to Microsoft, they're doing this so you guys can actually spend your money, because it's hard to do. I'm not talking to everybody. Okay. I'm talking about gamers in general, because they feel like the $10 price point in Game Pass is easier to swallow because you get to choose whatever games you want to play. So that's my rant. It's over. You guys can talk about it. Chat, what do you think about this situation?
Brujo said PUBG, but PUBG was a little different. That game's going to be in game preview.
No, but he's right when he says PUBG, because you look at the price point with PUBG, it's $30. It's a multiplayer game.
I guess people, I guess people will just automatically, they think they want to put value on something, and they think if it's more expensive, it must be a really good game. But I mean, let's just go through 2017 and go through the list of games that were $60 and go through each and every single one of them and see if you regret making that purchase real quick. How about everybody do that real quick? Because 2017, there's quite a few purchases I made that I regret. A big time. For Honor,
Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Star Wars Battlefront 2. And I hate to say this, Mass Effect Andromeda. That's another big one that really hurt me. And I'm a
Ghost
big
Recon Wildlands.
Ghost Recon Wildlands. We can go on and on and on and on down this list.
Let's go.
For Honor, we can go down this list. Honestly, we can go down this list. And so now all of a sudden Microsoft's like, hey, here's a game that we're really, really pushing out. State of Decay 2. You guys want it, $30, and you're gonna say, well, $30, it must not be that good. That makes no sense to me, dog. Like real talk. So if it's $30, get the game because it's $30. And if it's bad, oops. If it's good, you got your value. So just suck it up, eat it.
I can see all these kids sitting on their couch, just in freaking 3-day-old shirts, all dirty. They got melted Butterfinger on their shirts, looking at the damn screen. The game's not $60. Oh, it's $30. Oh no, dude, seriously, you're saving money in the long run for a game that is gonna be good. You know it's gonna be good. I mean, State of Decay 2 looks great. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be great. I mean, we have a plethora of games that came out at a $30 price point that have hit the mark and exceeded the mark as well. I mean, Cuphead broke records. That game was amazing.
Yes.
$30.
$30.
I don't know what people are complaining about.
When I heard of this, I couldn't believe it. But when I heard of this, I just picture, like you said, exactly someone with chocolate stains all over their face. It's a PlayStation pony just being jelly. That's all it is. Just jealous as hell that this game is coming to Xbox and it's $30 instead of $60. Everyone's like, that's a good surprise. Like Merry Christmas early or something. Or Easter, Happy Easter.
Yeah, it's not even just ponies. You got all kinds of ex-butts sitting in the corners doing this damn thing.
It just comes down to people being materialistic, man. Like that's just what it is, man. Materialism has entered the gaming community, man. Because like at some point, how would you equate $60 to being valued equal a good game?
Exactly, but yet the same people are ripping out coupons for $2 chicken bowls at Yoshinoya. Trying to say fuck. Get out of here with that.
See, and I'm glad you brought that up, Native, is that you're right, man. Like, there have been games that are so phenomenal at lower price points that you more than get your time out of it. Yes, there's been some big, $60 games that you've put plenty of hours into. But as y'all mentioned as well, there are some that have not been worth your money. Especially since you brought up For Honor and Ghost Recon Wildlands. Those took time to get better and be worth it, but at launch they weren't. These games, and you got to think too, State of Decay is a sequel to an arcade game that is now being funded by Microsoft to be a bigger game than what it was. And when it was $20 as an arcade game, was a success. It was a knockout because people were surprised by it. Yes, everyone knew it was a buggy mess, but it was still something unique at that time. And they've really revamped. If you watch that 25 minutes, they've made it so much smoother than what it looks like, than what it used to be. And the price point does not equate equality. There was something that me and my roommate talked about. It's called I believe the theory is called the retail theorem. It's if you take 3 products of the same quality and put them at 3 different prices, being cheap, average, and expensive, they're always going to go after the expensive because they think higher price means higher quality when it's not. And this is something that's been proven multiple times because it's a psychological thing, and people want to complain about price, yet they're willing to wait months at a time for Steam sales for something to be 80% off.
You're right, Smash. And let's not forget when State of Decay 1 first came out, that was like zombie games were a dime a dozen. The market was flooded with zombie games, and this is the one that stood out above all of them, and it was $20.
Yeah, exactly. And you think that the only game that this came in second to was Left 4 Dead because of what Valve had done with Left 4 Dead. And this was just before Left 4 Dead 2 came out, which is still probably the highest played zombie game out there because of all the mods, especially on Steam. State of Decay 2 was up there with that game. So let that be an understanding for people, and a point is that this game has competed with that. And you got to think, this is $30 for the base game. $50 for the ultimate gives you the first game, which comes with all the DLC, which added another almost $15 to it, with very large expansions for $20, as well as the DLC that's coming out for this game. How can you beat an offer like that? You cannot.
And it's still less than $60.
Exactly. It's still less than $60. It's less than a brand new game. Like, you're going to pay $100 for a game like Battlefront 2 or, Call of Duty or whatever else to get that gold edition with all the DLC.
You know they're going to cop that 60 for that.
Garbage.
Put that 60 over for Call of Duty.
Yeah, for real, man. Yeah, garbage.
So Mel, what do you think about the whole concept of the $30 equals no quality, $60 equals quality situation?
I love how Smash pointed out about people talk about games and how they're going to get them, and then they wait till they're on sale. So many people do that. They're like, nah, I really want that game, but I'll wait till it's on sale. So why complain? I think it's absolutely ridiculous. People just got to argue about everything. It's just like they have nothing better to do. Let's complain about the price of this game. I think it's great. I'm personally stoked to have a cheaper game because, quite frankly, I can't afford all the games.
It's true.
So that's why we have Game Pass now. That is the most exciting thing for me because we have kids and a household to take care of and all that other bills. That why can't our hobby be a little bit cheaper?
Hey,
so
facts.
They're doing us a favor, to be honest. Like, that's the way I look at it.
True. I mean, not if you're Evan Wingren.
I don't know who that is.
Well, I did a video on him. He's like the gamer's new worst common enemy. He was the one that said that gamers are being undercharged for games. He works for EA.
Oh my God,
man!
Yeah. Oh yeah, that guy.
That narrative.
Yeah. Forget that, dude. Here's the deal, man. This is the way I look at this situation. Is simply put this. Most of the time, if you're making a game purchase, you're pretty much making a gamble nowadays because who knows what's in that game? Who knows what you're going to get? So are you going to be mad that you spent $60 for a turd? Or are you going to be happy that you spent $30 on a turd if the game ends up being bad? You know what I mean? And if the game ends up being great, you just spent $30 on possibly one of the best games you ever played. It's that simple.
Nick, would your regrets for all the games that you purchased last year be a little bit easier on you if they were $30 versus the $60?
100%. Okay. That's the point I'm trying to make. Like,
and here's the even better part about that, Nick. With these being in Game Pass, all right, in Game Pass, $10 a month. You can take a hit on $10 compared to $30 for some people. So get the hell out of here with that hate. God.
I think we beat the subject into the ground.
I like hearing you guys
now.
going on rants, honestly. So it's interesting to know, real quick. We can touch on this real quick. EA came out with the news that they're opening their EA Access up. Surprise, surprise! And they're putting in games from WB, like the Batman games that everybody has played. So, is this a direct response to Xbox's Game Pass changes? I personally think it is. Honestly, I think the games as a service is the model of the future. And then you're just going to see these big companies start their own services like Xbox Game Pass. Let's talk about it, man. I mean, EA Access, do you guys have it? Is this a good move by them to add more games to it?
Yes, absolutely. I paid the $30 for a year, $30 for a year to get all the games in their vault. And not only that, you also get discounts on those games. Brand new games, you get 10-hour early demo a week to play. So, I mean, it's great. It's phenomenal to have that. Of course, right now it was limited to EA games, and we've seen how the quality for the past few EA games have kind of been. But now that they're, but with the fact that they're bringing in other companies, and the fact that first up to go for it was Warner Brothers, you got to think that's all the Batman games, that's Injustice, that's Shadow of War, Middle Earth. The Shadow of Mordor, you got Injustice, Mortal Kombat. That brings great new titles into that vault that you could play.
Real quick, someone in chat pointed it out. This is EA Origins, so it's the PC version.
Yeah, it's not EA Access.
I know for a fact, okay, they're gonna go to do. I don't know this from anybody. I don't have any sources like some people in the community, but it only makes sense that it would go to EA Access. It's the same thing almost, right?
Hey, so of course you have sources. You have
it. Yeah, they're bringing it out for PC as a trial, and then I think it's going to migrate over to Access. I don't know why it wouldn't. Okay,
right. Here's my thing with EA Access. I really enjoyed EA Access at the beginning, but then I ended up having to wait for most. I mean, you get a 10-hour trial when a game first comes out. After you run through the trial, that's it, and then you have to purchase the full game, and then you have to wait until they decide whenever the game has run its course that they put it in the vault, and then you can play it for your $5 a month or whatever it is. As soon as they start doing what Xbox does and adding their titles right off the bat, as soon as they stop being so money hungry when it comes to that thing, raise the price just like Xbox did. Add your titles in there. I'm tired of paying $60 for Madden, $60 for NBA Live, $60 for NHL every year. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as they do that, they will have a home run. And people will be more likely inclined to start trusting EA again. But until then, nah, it's just $5 a month for a game that's going to be a year old. If it's a sports title, it's going to be 6 months old. By that time, it's all done with. So as soon as they start following suit to Microsoft and what they're doing with the Game Pass, EA will have something. But until then, yeah. But I do like what you're saying about what they're doing with the Origins. If it's a trial run and they start to do certain things and then they bring it to Access, good.
I think that Microsoft actually could take something from EA Access and put it into Game Pass. You know how they have where you can, so new games when they launch, you can play them like a week early or a couple days early or something like that.
That would be within 10 hours.
Yeah, I think that would be a cool thing for Microsoft to put in and be like, hey, if you're a Game Pass person, you can play this game, this first party exclusive, like a couple days early.
I mean, that would make sense, but at the same time, that really wouldn't make sense because you're getting that brand new game day one. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just already getting it. It's an incentive to
just a way for them to have people get Game Pass. Hey, you want to play this game early for 7 days early and watch everybody, or you want to watch everybody streaming on Twitch? I think I'll play it 7 days early. Here's my $10.
So anyway, anybody else have anything to say about that before we move on?
I actually have a completely different opinion on this from you guys because. All right, it's EA, right? I hate EA. A lot of people hate EA. We all know they're greedy, right? We all know this. So what you got, like, and this is like a consumer-friendly thing, or at least it looks like that, right? Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So let's delve deeper into this, right? Because it's not adding up with their history. Everyone agree with that.
True.
But people change. All right. People change.
All right, so
not EA, they don't change.
They're working off of the Origins account, right? Now, with my personal experience, I cannot game share with my son any EA games, and it's because of that Origins account. You have to sign up for that Origins account, and something in that Origins account blocks you from digitally game sharing. So I'm wondering if this is a way for them to expand that to other games that they don't own. There could be something there.
So you think so you think this might be a ploy?
Yes.
Or games that are, by Warner Brothers not be allowed to game share. So you're saying my son will not be able to play Batman?
Possibly.
Really?
I don't see
a far reach. That's a
I don't-
far reach.
It is a little far reach, but it makes sense. And EA is not consumer friendly. I don't know. I just don't believe it.
Well, we can all agree on that, man. I think they were voted. EA was voted as a company as one of the worst companies in the U.S. multiple years. Shout out to Black Tiger. What up, man? Yeah, man. So EA, we know they're kind of anti-consumer. So we'll see what happens. It's just interesting that they're adding to Origins and it's a games as a service model. That's the only thing I wanted to point out because I do know that people in the industry are paying notice to Xbox Game Pass. I think it's the future. I think games as a service is the future. It's not a negative thing,
Yeah, I do want to answer your direct question though on this topic. Yes, I think it's a direct response to Xbox Game Pass, even though it's on the PC side. They have it available on the PC side, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that in a lot of the games on Xbox Game Pass are Play Anywhere titles. I'm pretty sure that some of them, like Sea of Thieves, is a Play Anywhere. And a couple of other ones might be as well. So, I mean, if you get Xbox Game Pass, you can play that on PC as well. I know Super Lucky's Tale is Play Anywhere, so you have that going for them. But yes, it's a direct response. I believe it is.
Sweet. Yeah. So, I don't know. We don't need to beat that any more than we have. Moving on to the next topic, PUBG. Interesting, because I was talking about PUBG. I played a lot of PUBG, and I know you guys have when it came out first, and then I've kind of migrated over to Fortnite. Fortnite has gone up and down, but Fortnite, the level of customization that they have and the things you can get out of loot boxes, emotes, and all this other stuff. They have Battle Pass. The game runs 60 frames a second. Me and Irrelevant Native got into an argument actually in party chat over this subject. I was telling him, I was like, PUBG needs to step its game up. And then they come out with this news thing and they're experimenting with a smaller map that's directly in relation to Fortnite's map size. They're going to put emotes in. They're putting more outfits in. They're putting in new vehicles. They're putting in, what else is there? They're putting in actually 2 maps. There's going to be a second map that's double the size of the smaller 4x4 kilometer map. They're going to put in new guns. So we're talking about extreme amounts of changes, and I know this is directly in response to Fortnite because they see their market share being taken away, and they're seeing all the news in the pub going to Fortnite. They're seeing all the Twitch streamers and all this other stuff. Everybody's going over there.
Yep.
So like we want to keep our top dog status when it comes to battle royale as much as possible. So I think this news is awesome, and this is a perfect example of how competition is good for everything. It's good for market. Yes. Like when we're talking about PlayStation versus Xbox versus Nintendo, all these companies push each other to do good things like this. If PUBG was the only game that did this, they wouldn't need to do all this stuff. So let's talk about this. I know you guys are big PUBG fans. What do you guys think of all this roadmap, this update, all this
I'm
stuff?
gonna hop in first.
Okay.
I love PUBG. It's my favorite game in the world now. I did not even know about this until I got into your chat today, and I'm like, oh crap, what?
Yeah.
So that's really exciting for me. Thank you guys for sharing the great news. So excited. I think that it's really good for the gamers. That's who it works out for best. Obviously the developers and the competition, everybody kind of benefits from it, but the people who benefit from it the most are the gamers. Because I really hate Fortnite, you guys. I know some of you are fans. I can't stand it. I tried playing it. I think I was playing with the wrong group. I was with Xbot. That was it. It was terrible. But I'm so excited. New cars,
new game. I mean, there's a lot coming over to PUBG, and I'm excited for it. For one, I am really excited. I'm very cautious when I think about a fast-paced PUBG. That's the one thing that stuck out to me most is they want to come out with a smaller map, so that way it increases the intensity, increases the speed of players dying. Yeah, exactly. It's a great option I mean, don't get me wrong. It's just running out there with, a car 98. I don't know. Man, it's scary.
That's one thing that I think Fortnite can learn from PUBG is make their map bigger. And it's kind of funny that I think that about Fortnite, and then PUBG's like, oh, by the way, here's a smaller map.
It's true.
So that's something that would be great to see.
The thing is,
slow down Fortnite. That would be awesome to see.
It's just options. Like when I'm playing Fortnite, I wish there was a bigger map. Like I wish that was an option. And I think that eventually they'll be pushed to do that as well. They have different game modes in Fortnite. They're coming out with this 20 v20 vs 20 or something like that, or 25 or something like that. Like they keep doing these different game modes. It's just options. People don't want to do the same thing over and over. It's fun. But if they do this smaller map, it's going to be just a different game mode. It's not permanent. You're going to get that map. You're going to get the jungle map that's going to be bigger. You get emotes, and that's the thing that that's been missing for this game. Because when I play it, I get the same brown shoes 20 times, dude. I'm tired of brown shoes.
Pretty bad.
Look,
I do want to clarify one thing in the chat. Stu shot you. He had said something that they need to sort out the frame rate first. Just to clarify that these updates and all of these things that we're talking about are for the PC side to start.
True.
So these are hitting their test servers. They're not coming to Xbox One or Xbox One S anytime soon. They got to figure it out.
But you know what, Native, you mentioned that, but let's take a look at this though. They have been putting out very, very fast updates. We're not on the par of PC yet. But they've been doing a lot of big updates over the past year that the game's been out, even on PC, and it's gone significantly better than it was almost a year ago. And you got to think that when we did get it back in December, we were at where they were in May. So like just a few months after launch. And they've
I just wanted to clarify for Stu in the chat. He was talking about the frame rate. The frame rate is
the big issue
on the X. Yeah, it is still tough. I mean, I've seen a huge improvement from the OG Xbox One to jumping to the X. I mean, Mel, you can attest to this. It's
it's
incredible. Yeah, and so heck yeah, the team has done a great job so far.
You're absolutely right there. And over the past few months, over the past few months too, they've also stabilized it on the X because it's gotten much better in small increments, but it's a major step up from where it was when it launched. And I want them to continue, but I do agree with a lot of people that right now the biggest issue is stabilization of the frame rate, because we were hearing all this different that they were able to get it at 60 on the X and that everything was going to be at 30, but we're sitting under 30. Once they can get it locked, then start really going out for the big things, because we all want the big things. We know we want new vehicles, we want new guns, we want new attachments. That's great. But get the game working first before you start going out there. Yes, we're going to complain we want more variety. But if the game isn't working first, then what's the point of adding more if that's just going to break the game more?
Every patch is something else broken.
You know what? When I saw this topic, I jotted down some notes. And I swear, Irrelevant, you stole my notes, man. You said exactly, Damon, what I was gonna say. They're adding all this great stuff to it, and it's awesome. But they said the new one of the new maps is gonna be 4 kilometers by 4 kilometers. Now I don't know how much smaller that is. I would imagine it's the same size of a a Fortnite map or something like that. But I don't like that. The scale of PUBG is what separates it from Fortnite. Fortnite just cannot compete with the scale. It's so much bigger. It requires vehicles, and I personally, I just think they should play to their strengths. PUBG should play to its strength. Fortnite doesn't have that big of a map. It doesn't have vehicles. Play to those strengths that you do have over your competitor.
Yeah, Titan, I just want to say something real quick. So they're getting beat right now by Fortnite. So the reasoning behind putting a smaller map in there is not to change the mechanic of the game or change the game. It's just to give people options, right? In Call of Duty, they have different game modes. They have domination. They have, capture the flag. They have, whatever. They have different game modes. If they just had team deathmatch, that gets stale, that gets boring. They put like prop hunt in. It's not because they want to change Call of Duty in general and change what it is. It's just to give people options as gamers. And I think that's the case here, because they see Fortnite as their direct competitor, and they are. They have a smaller map size. The engagement is faster. So if you have that Fortnite audience that likes that type of engagement, then they can play that playlist, right? They can have a smaller map and have more engagements, and then they can have a reason to play PUBG. So they have both things, right?
So do you think them coming out with this smaller map will pull some of the Fortnite players to PUBG?
I think so. Yeah, I think that if you play both games, which I have, the way they're played just feels different. When I'm parachuting out of the bus in Fortnite, I can literally go anywhere I need to almost without even pulling my chute. That's how small the map is. So you're almost guaranteed to see 1, 2, 3, 4 people, depending on where you go. And that only happens when you're going, like in PUBG, if you go to like populated areas, you can get out of in PUBG a lot of the times going to certain spots that are your favorites. Like if you go further away from where you're jumping out and then not have any engagement until the end. And that's because the map is like, I swear the map is like 4 times bigger. I don't know what it is, but it is huge. The map is way bigger than Fortnite.
Yeah, way
absolutely bigger. Like you can jump into a town and there only be you and your team. There could be no one for a long time before you actually get to like the 3rd zone maybe. And Fortnite, you go into one town, there's at least 15 people in that small town and 4 houses.
Yeah.
We'll see how it works out. PUBG is definitely one of those games that's polarizing. It's the hotness right now. The battle royale topic is very hot when it comes to gamers. So we'll see. Chat real quick. Are you guys a Fortnite fan or a PUBG fan? PUBG hit a 1, Fortnite hit a 2.
PUBG hit a 1.
A lot of PUBG fans in here, man.
PUBG hit a 1.
That's
right. I think Stu Shot has a really great question. The thing is, would Fortnite be as popular if PUBG was on both consoles? I think that's a really good thing to think about.
That's true.
You also got to think too is that Fortnite's free as well.
It's true. It's free. Their model, the free-to-play model, is genius. They have this battle pass that's only $10. I bought it, so it obviously worked. The battle pass works so you can play the game free and you can still unlock stuff, but it's very few and it's sporadic. If you get the game pass or the battle pass or whatever it's called for the season, you get an XP boost, and then you can get all this stuff that you unlock, like emotes and dances and parachutes and all kinds of stuff. So people buy that stuff and they can pay more in the store. But yeah, it's free to play, so that's why there's a lot of people in there. So anyway, you guys have anything else to say before we move on?
Nintendo too? Really?
All I have to say about this is like the battle royale genre is going to get very, very crowded in a hurry.
You're right.
Maybe this is why they are kind of working on more options for their game, because them in Fortnite, but then they don't have that. Remember, Hi-Res Studios is working on their version of their battle royale, and then there's one in the works called Islands of the Nine, and that's a first-person battle royale. So that genre is about to get very, very crowded. So these two need to pretty much kind of get on top before somebody else comes and takes the crown, which is just those two for now. I don't think any other games can get on top, but if some game comes out with a way better idea, then they can always bite into that.
Absolutely. Don't forget we're getting Darwin Project here in the next few weeks, and that one's very unique. And I think that one's gonna be smaller because I think it's only 10 players.
Yeah,
but that one's gonna be interesting. But
and I think that comes out tomorrow.
Does it come out tomorrow?
On the 9th.
Thought it comes out
the
on
9th,
the 15th.
I thought it was the 9th.
It doesn't matter when it comes out. We're going to the next topic. So
it doesn't matter. I love it.
So Nintendo, according to some analysts, will surpass Xbox when it comes to market share in 2018. What can Xbox do about this, or can they do anything? Nintendo Direct was today, and I told Nick that I'm debating whether or not I want to get a PlayStation or a Switch. And I'm kind of leaning towards the Switch, but they're about to pass Xbox when it comes to market share, and they've only been out, a year? It's crazy. It's crazy. So let's talk about this. Nintendo Switch gonna surpass Xbox with market share within, a little over a year. What can Xbox do to kind of gain traction and catch up if that's possible? Who wants to grab the reins? Nintendo Direct, you want to?
I was gonna say,
I'll let you go first.
Start about this, yeah.
Okay. I'll let you go first.
Go.
No. I was saying that you should say it because, especially you being the big Nintendo fan, I think you putting out your thoughts would actually be the most insightful on this.
That's true. Nick,
what could Xbox really? I don't think there's not much they can do at this point. I mean, the only thing that they are missing, really, the only thing they are missing is exclusives. That's really it. I mean, that is the only thing they're missing. It's the most powerful console in the world, and I believe in the Xbox One X after making that purchase. I am all in on that. And so the only thing they really are missing is first party titles that intrigue people to buy the Xbox. That's really what they're missing. You can only have so many Halos, you can only have so many Gears of War before people say, okay, what else? And I know that they're working on those games. I know that with the release of the OG Xbox One, they kind of shot themselves in the foot because of past leadership and what they went for. So there's not too much they can do about that part. They shut down Lionhead Studios, so Fable's gone, but now we know that they're working on another Fable. So they're working on getting those exclusives. That's really the only thing they can do. They've done everything possible that they can do. Game Pass, which is a great idea. They've done that. Xbox One X, the most powerful console in the world. They took back the power narrative. So they've done everything they possibly can do. They just need those first-party exclusives. That's really what it is in my eyes. That's really what it is. Because they have so many good ideas. Game Pass is a great idea. Xbox Live was innovative. There's just Xbox, to me, is the number one out of all of them when it comes to service. But they just don't have they don't have the first party titles that gets people's attention. That's really what it is. Honestly, that's the number one thing. Everything else about Xbox is great. It's just the exclusives, dude, in my mind.
Well, when you create Nintendo Labo and it sells, I don't know how to argue against that.
Mhm.
Well, we already know that Nintendo Labo, like that's gonna be it's a whole different thing. And that's going to be geared towards the kid. And Nintendo doesn't just see them as a strict video game company anymore. They see themselves as a toy, video game, and an entertainment company. So they're going to nail all three of those down. So the Labo is in its own thing, but Nintendo has its own first-party games. It has its own following. So Xbox needs to create that culture, and they had it for a while, honestly. When the Xbox first came out, think of all the games that Xbox had that were just its own thing. Knights of the Old Republic, Jade Empire, Mass Effect, all these games that Xbox had, they had on its own, and they started to build that brand. And the 360 was doing great, and then they came out with the X. They didn't have any of that, and they stopped focusing on games, and they wanted to be the entertainment system. Your one thing for entertainment, and it kind of just drained that momentum down the toilet. And they need to go back to that, and that's honestly what it is. And to me, that's everything it is, man. It's just that those few years that they shot themselves in the foot. That was it. They need to get back to that.
It's true. So, Native, what do you think about this? Third place when it comes to market share. Do you think it's they have a chance to catch up, or is it kind of a lost cause for the gen?
Honestly, I think that as gamers, I mean, this is my own opinion. I think that as gamers, we need to get off the nuts of market share and how the companies are doing. I mean, like when you break it down, I mean, if you're an aspiring journalist and that's what you want to look into, by all means, go for it. But when you come down to people that are just that consider themselves gamers, they're gaming enthusiasts, they're Microsoft enthusiasts, or Sony enthusiasts, or Nintendo enthusiasts. That's one of the last things you should be looking at is where do they stand against, in numbers against this company and that company.
I disagree. But here's the deal.
I understand why you would disagree.
If you're using it as a fanboy thing, like saying,
that's pretty much
number
what I'm
one,
talking about.
You're
That's
number
pretty much what I'm
two,
talking
you're number
about.
three, right? But if you're invested in this brand, I just spent $500 to buy an Xbox One X. I want to make sure that my company is healthy, right? So when you're seeing these trending numbers, the reason why we're bringing it up on this podcast is because it has to do with gaming. Nintendo is trending a certain way, and Xbox is trending a certain way. Xbox in the previous generation was number one, the whole gen almost till the end. Nintendo was at the bottom. Now they're trending up. If you look at it through numbers, Microsoft is trending down to the third spot, and they haven't been there in a while. And I'm wondering why. That's the question, right?
Yeah,
it's not necessarily to say
that, but I
this
mean,
or that.
at the same time, if you're gonna just be looking at that, I'm not saying that you're only looking at that or that people are only looking at that, but you can't determine how healthy a company is by looking at just one branch of the entire company. Because the company itself isn't going anywhere. The gaming division
I'm talking
isn't
about
going anywhere.
Xbox, Sony, Nintendo. I don't care about Microsoft as a whole, or the PlayStation brand. I'm talking about the consoles themselves, the companies that run them. So if you're looking at market share, that's what I'm talking about. The thing that I want to focus on is the fact that one console is trending a certain way and another console is trending a certain way.
Yeah, if that's all you want to focus on, then my only point is Nintendo came out, did something incredible by making a hybrid console portable. It sold well. They're getting more and more third-party support. I mean, granted, there's a couple of games that are older generation that are just older in general that are coming out for the Switch, but it's still some support, and it's still something that companies can third-party publishers can look at and say, you know what, we have our older game on there, let's throw something new out. And then not to mention, people want to integrate the portability aspect with online, et cetera, et cetera.
And the motion
fact that they're exactly, and the fact that they're climbing up the ranks and they hit number 2, kudos to them. Yeah, it sucks because I'm an Xbox One. I mean, I'm an Xbox guy. I mean, not to say I'm a fanboy or anything, but that's the only console that I own. I had a PS4. I had to sell it. I've never owned a Switch or a Wii or a Wii U. Hopefully, I want to get a Switch, but in time, maybe, whatever. But the fact that they're climbing up the ranks as just an overall gaming enthusiast, I'm glad to see that Nintendo is working its way back up those ranks. And if they hit number 2, then knock Xbox down a peg, then hey, maybe Xbox will actually open up and say, you know what, shit, we're losing market share. Oh shit, look at, we're climbing down that rank. We're getting beat. Why is that? Well, maybe because of the lack of intellectual properties that we have. Our first party IPs are just not up to snuff because, I mean, Crackdown 3, Sea of Thieves, those are great games and they're going to help. State of Decay 2, they're going to help, but they're not up to they're not up to par where Nintendo's coming out, hitting it out of the park with certain games. Sony coming out, hitting it out of the park with certain games. Microsoft isn't doing that right now. So hopefully this is a wake-up call. And it should be a wake-up call to other people to look at Xbox and say, hey, not even just look at them, but contact them. Tell them, tweet at Phil, tweet at whoever you can, Aaron Greenberg, tweet them all and tell them, we need more games. We need first-party games. Give me first-party games, and hopefully they'll get that damn wake-up call.
I believe Xbox is going to get their first-party games. They're going to get their IPs.
I know they will.
It's going to take time, dude. It's going to take time, honestly. And like I said, I still root for Xbox. Everybody in here thinks that I'm just bashing Xbox because they don't have first-party. No, that's not even the case. Like, that's really what it is in the end. I mean, the most powerful console in the world can only get you so far, and you can get multi-plats on the other two on Sony if you want to. It really comes down to not having the IPs. They shot themselves in the foot when the Xbox One first came out. It really, really did. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And they're trending down, but I don't think they'll be trending down for long. As soon as once they get their feet underneath them and they have some IPs and people get interested, they'll be back up.
So they spent all their damn money when the Xbox One launched to a freaking contract with the NFL that went absolutely fucking nowhere.
Hashtag buy BioWare.
Yeah. So the thing that I want to focus. So the thing that you're saying is first party games. I think they could do a little better when it comes to marketing. I think that could be better.
That too.
You know what's funny about that though is that there was an interesting conversation I saw. Is that people were talking about, even if they put money into marketing, like really put money into it, even as much as they want to, people are going to give them hatred no matter what they do. What's the point of dropping money into marketing if people are just going to give them marketing shit? And
you're not spinning off on that media bias shit, are you?
No, not at all. I'm saying that people. This is coming from the dissension in the fans, right? And
they want to hate
itself. The Xbox community is divided amongst itself on people who are actually holding out for something better and those who are completely hating anything that they do. Among the Xbox community, any announcement they come out, like look at what happened with State of Decay. We were begging and begging and begging for months for a release date. As soon as we get a release date, we get a date and a price. Suddenly, it's $30. It's trash.
Yeah, no.
The community itself is so divided that they can't even accept what Microsoft does at the times. So what's the point of putting millions of dollars into big budget marketing if your own fans aren't going to stand by you?
Well, let me piggyback off of what you just said there just a little bit. Remember this much. Sony pretty much PlayStation sales is pretty much keeping Sony, the company, above water at this point. So, and then when it comes to Nintendo, they're their own company. They can do whatever they want. Microsoft is Xbox is the only one of these that is underneath, and they don't really. I guess Microsoft will be fine if Xbox division closed down today. That's what I'm trying to say. They still have Windows. They still have their software. So Microsoft will be fine. Yeah, if Microsoft will be fine if Xbox was to just cease to exist today. So don't seem to forget that. I guarantee you, Xbox is under pressure to profit, and whenever Microsoft looks down and says, well, why did the Xbox One not do so well? How come you're not selling as much as Sony? How come these first party games that you're putting out aren't doing as well? Like, they can look at that and say, well, we'll cut your budget. So just everybody, it comes down to you supporting your platform, honestly, at that point.
But to kind of piggyback right off that is the fact of we've seen that was the topic in talks at first, because everything that was left over from Don Matrix time.
Right. Exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make.
That was from before Phil, and big on that is Satya Nadella was supporting the Xbox, but he wasn't committed. We've only recently seen that change because the fact that the changes they made have shown that Xbox is highly profitable. We've seen that with the push of digital,
and that's only going to take time once they start getting investments. And they're getting them. It's going to take time. It really is. It's just going to take time.
Right. They're actually just
hold on. Oh no, go for it. Go for it, Titan.
I was going to say real quick. They're now just rebounding from Don Matrix.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people wanted Phil to basically be able to pull out these amazing games from the get-go. No, everything that came up from 2017 was left over from Don Matrix. I get people want the cutthroat business side of what Don Matrix did in the early days of the 360. However, we have come out multiple times as developers hated his cutthroat attitude, the way that he pushed for everything. Yes, it was great for us, but it was bad for them. We're seeing that change in culture. Now we're the ones who are getting upset. But the thing is, we have to give it time. We can't expect something to come out in a year or 2 years. Small games, yes, we've seen those. But these big things that we want cannot just happen overnight without some sort of pre-planned investment over years.
Yeah, and this is something that I wanted to point out really quick was we were saying the same damn thing when it came to Nintendo Wii, when it came to Nintendo Wii U. We were saying the same thing. Just give them time. They just need time. And then we give them time. Everybody kind of just forgot about Wii and the Wii U and was just like, hey, whatever, we'll leave those motion controls alone. We left it alone, and then they come back out with the Switch, and they knocked it out of the damn park. Yeah, that thing is amazing. So just give Microsoft time. Exactly. I hope they don't come out with a portable because I don't want a portable. I have a phone.
They need to stick with our narrative that they have. They need to Xbox will be back. I will quote me saying this. Xbox will be back. They will be back.
I'm just give them some time. See, and we can hate on the Wii all we want, but the Wii was great for what it was. The Wii was a little bit of a step up, but it wasn't groundbreaking like the Switch was. The Switch has just been a runaway. People who are getting all triggered over this market share like numbers BS, they need to get out of here. The Switch has been unique on what it did. That's Nintendo. Nintendo's always done something unique. Get over that fact.
It's true.
Like, you're looking at two traditional consoles with PlayStation and Xbox, and you're getting a unique system from Nintendo all the time. They do their own thing. True. Trying to compare them together is stupid.
Yeah,
this is a big reason why they took market shares, because Nintendo is focusing on something completely different than Microsoft and Sony are going toe to toe with each other, while Nintendo does its own thing and collects all the market, all that revenue on its own. It's not competing with anybody.
Exactly.
They walk their own line.
A lot of people have stated that the Switch has always been like a complementary console. There's people with Switches who have other consoles. That's what it is. It's taken no market share. It's just sharing it with everyone.
It's true, man. It's good that all the consoles are healthy,
right now, bro.
Yeah, shout out to the chat.
Man, I just want to know if you would have mentioned Nintendo doing well, like that gets people.
I don't understand what Zink is talking about. I'd like you to clarify just a little bit.
Whenever I think he's talking about whenever I came in the point saying that
you can talk to him in chat.
Yeah. No.
So
I'm not going to talk to him through here.
We'll move on to the next topic because it's interesting. it has to do with all this, like Xbox and how they're approaching their situation moving forward. Phil Spencer was asked some, questions about the approach with E3, and he says, hey, we're taking a different approach when it comes to E3, and that piqued my interest. And also, when talking about Japanese support, there's going to be a lot more Japanese support going forward. And then a new show for Xbox is coming out. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but it's somewhat like the Nintendo Direct, right? They're going to be coming out with a new monthly show called Inside Xbox, and what the goal of that is to be more to give more communication out to its customers, because let's be honest, I think a lot of that has been lacking when it comes to the roadmaps and communication. So they have the goal to stream once a month and talk about some of the games that are going to be in Game Pass and some of the things moving forward. It's cool, right?
I like that.
The first episode will be shown on Saturday, March 10th, and it's going to be 12 p.m. Pacific, I guess, so you guys could figure out where do you want to watch that. They're going to be giving away prizes and stuff on Mixer. Let's talk about that real quick, all that stuff that I just mentioned. Do you think this is good, man? I think this is awesome. I think the Nintendo Direct idea is dope. It gets people excited for each month to learn about stuff and how, things going forward. What do you guys think?
Wasn't this something they did back in the 360? I remember them doing something like that. Larry,
they had some kind of show like that every month. I remember that. Honestly, any type of marketing, any type of increased communication between the company execs and fans, any time they increase that, it's good for us fans, because we get an inside view of wow, that's stupid. I'm not going to say inside anymore because that's what the damn thing's called. But we do get a deeper look into what they're doing, into what they want to do. Hearing the conversations between them and developers and what they were trying to accomplish together, I think could be really good and helpful, and most importantly, educational, because we have a lot of people, uneducated people out there when it comes to, and I don't mean education as far as schooling. I mean as far as the gaming industry, how development works, how licensing works. If they were to touch on that a little bit every time with a new developer or something, I think it really help them, really help a lot of gamers out there understand just what goes into it. And then the fact that it's Xbox, I mean, come on, let's go.
It's true. Anybody else have anything to say? I think it's a good thing. Nick,
I really like the idea.
Yeah,
I
it's
really
good,
do,
right?
man. I really do like that idea, man. And here's one thing that I really do give Xbox props for, and that is them being as transparent with the community as they can be at this point, because I think they're doing the right thing by doing that. I feel like they are still cleaning up that mess from 2013 to 2017. I feel like they need to be transparent with the community and be open with them. And I think this is just one more way of doing that. And I really do like that. And you heard in Phil's speech that he gave, what was it, 2 weeks ago? Like you can tell that they're trying to do something different and be something different. And I'm really, really paying it close attention and looking forward to what that is, because I feel like Xbox is onto something good.
It's true. Anybody else?
I'd like it if they invite Titan Drago onto the show and singing, maybe.
All right. Well, we'll go on to the last topic. You guys seem like you
didn't start this whole war. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
So, Call of Duty. You guys' favorite game. Announced Black Ops 4. It just talked about some of the situations. It's gonna be coming out in October, and it's been rumored that Battlefield, the next one coming up, is going to be set in World War II. I just want to point out the fact that I'm kind of over the old war situation, because we had Battlefield set in World War I, then we had the Call of Duty in World War II. I think this is a big fail when it comes to Battlefield to come out with another old war game. I think they're just going to get curb stomped. I tweeted about it. I think that Call of Duty is going to just curb stomp them when it comes to sales, because I'm not really interested in that old war shit anymore. Let's talk about it real quick and then we'll get out of here. What do you guys think, man?
I don't care.
You don't care?
Damn, bro. She's like, don't care.
I might get it though.
You might get it, yeah.
Which one? Black Ops 4 or
Yeah.
Battlefield World War II?
You know what? I would probably get the Black Ops 4. I mean, I was really anti Call of Duty for several years.
Brian Baker said, we need Bad Company 3. Go on. Sorry, I just want to.
That's cool. I haven't played Call of Duty in years now. If it is set in that one's supposed to be in the war, like World War II. No,
Yep.
right?
World War II is going to be Battlefield. As
I
far
have
as
to see gameplay first. I do enjoy those types of games. I feel like they're a bit more tactical, but I didn't like Battlefield 1, right? It was more tactical feeling than, let's say, Call of Duty World War II. It was really fast paced and insane, and stupid on some aspects too, but it was still a lot of fun. And if it's not more tactical and it isn't a little bit slower paced, then I probably will have to pass. It depends. I need to see gameplay.
It's true.
Agreed. Here's my thing right now. I'm going to agree with Brian Baker. We need a Bad Company 3. Please, EA, give us a Bad Company 3. Please, DICE, give us a Bad Company 3. And if you don't give us a Bad Company 3, skip this World War II crap, go to the Vietnam War, or go to some modern war. I don't care at this point. But I don't think it's a good move for them to do Battlefield 1, and then Call of Duty's like, well, we're going to do World War II because they were competing with each other, and then Battlefield to go, hey, now we're going to do World War II. Like, I don't think that's a good idea. Jump ahead of them, do Vietnam War. How many Vietnam War games do we have out there? Honestly, I know that Bad Company 2 had the Vietnam DLC, but they didn't actually have a Vietnam War game. So I think that their best option would be to either one, skip World War II and go to something more modern, or do Vietnam at this point. Black Ops 4, I don't know, man. How many Black Ops can we get, dog?
Hey, Black Ops 2 was my favorite COD, but shout out to Brian Baker. He said, I ain't playing with a fucking M1 Garand again. I'm done with this whole shit.
Exactly. Like, and that's my thing. Like, bro, we're tired of it. But my thing with Call of Duty is, how many more Black Ops can we get? I mean,
it's Black Ops can be kind of rehashed over and over again because of the context of the actual campaign. You know, you get amnesia, all kinds of crap is going on in your head over and over again. So I mean that's one.
They're going to be like Black Ops Revolutionary War. You get your much.
Yeah, dude. I mean, at this point, Black Ops is going to run everything. But yeah, good for Call of Duty. Black Ops 4, it's going to sell. Rumor has it. Supersonic Station with his $2 super chat.
This dude's been trolling. We gotta pay the bills. Pay the bills. Supersonic Station, Nintendo Power. I love Nintendo. I love cardboard.
Nice.
Shout out to you, bro.
Shout out.
Yeah, see, when it comes to Call of Duty Black Ops 4, I think 2 did it really well when they went. I think it was 2 where they went old school. You know, they went to an older war, and then futuristic, and then in between they kept jumping back and forth. That was really cool. But with this one, Black Ops 4, I would like it to be more modern. I don't want to see exoskeletons. I don't want to see all kinds of crazy jetpacks. I want to see boots on the ground. I want to see modern day weapons. Give me an M4, give me an M16, give me something, give me a UMP again. Like, give me those realistic today based guns. Battlefield 1, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, you finish yours and then I guess
I was just gonna say that I just wanted to put something in context that I've been thinking about for a while today. For a long time we as gamers, as FPS fans, we got fatigued with the futuristic shooters, so we asked for a World War II based game. Like, let's go back to World War II. Let's go back to those old guns. We got that with Battlefield 1. We got over that. Call of Duty releases Infinite Warfare. Super futuristic. I mean, we're fighting in zero gravity in space. I mean, come on, really?
Which I thought was a dope idea, but go ahead.
But it was poorly executed, and there was nothing in it. But what launched with it basically was the Call of Duty 4 remaster. That got way more attention than the Infinite Warfare. So that should have set a precedent right there for Call of Duty. And I hope that it influences Black Ops 4. People want a modern day shooter because that's all Call of Duty 4 was completely modern, boots on the ground, M16s, M4s, that's it. Call of Duty 2, I mean, Call of Duty World War II comes out. We're going back to World War II. It's exhausted. We're fatigued once again with the World War II, World War I guns, the gunplay, the scopes, I mean, the sights, everything. We're fatigued with that. I think Black Ops 4 needs to be modern. If they go too futuristic, it's not going to work. If they go too far back, it's not going to work. I think they really do need a hit modern day.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Well, the thing with Black Ops is it's like they can use their imagination a little bit, because the whole story with the Black Ops is it's the secret undercover stuff no one knows about. So they essentially have all the they have their imaginations to work with when it comes to Black Ops. But my thing is with Call of Duty, and this has happened for years. Every year it's happened with Call of Duty since Vince Zampella and his team left for Modern Warfare 2 over lost royalties. Okay, after that, every year Call of Duty has had a hook. It's had something extra in the game to sell you their new shitty game, essentially. And like, is this one going to be the Modern Warfare 2 remaster? Because to me, that's the only thing that I'm interested in, really.
Yep. I'm right there with you, my dude. Right there with you.
I mean, that's the last thing they have to steal from Zampella and his team. Well, you guys don't realize. I don't know if anyone realizes, but when the first game that came out with the jetpacks, what game was that stolen from? Does anyone know? The
Titanfall.
Titanfall, exactly. Who made Titanfall? Vince Zampella and his team, after they left from being not paid royalties from Modern Warfare 2. It's just like they constantly steal from this dude, his ideas. So like Modern Warfare 2 remaster is literally the last thing that they could steal from him.
It's true. Yeah, because I mean, even in Infinite 2, they had the robots, and we had the robots in Titanfall as well.
And Titanfall did it so much better. Vince Zampella and his team know how to create a first-person shooter.
See, you're not wrong, but I gotta say this is with Treyarch, their studio has always done something unique, and Native brought up a good point with Black Ops, is that they've always been more crazy stories because they've always took on this darker, outlandish story because of the whole Black Ops thing. It's the stuff that isn't talked about. This is true off the books undercover craziness. We saw from the first game and everything that happened in that one to everything that happened in Black Ops 2. Black Ops 3 had potential. I thought the story was cool for some of the aspects, but it just got too outlandish when they took, the aspects of Infinite. I don't like that. What I want is, I do agree that he wants boots on the ground. I want boots on the ground. However, there's still eras that haven't been touched. I've said it before. I want something in Desert Storm. There's so much around Desert Storm in that area and around that time that is very rarely talked. There was one SOCOM game that was Operation Desert Storm, but that was back on the PS2. That was the only game that did that era. There's so much around that time and operations that we don't know about, that they can do a unique story there with that outlandish nature of Black Ops. Because think about in the first game, what was it? They had the shotgun with the dragon breath fire shell rounds that you could shoot at people. Like, come on, there's something unique about it that they could do that outlandish that's still very tied and grounded. We've gone back and forth between World War II future, World War II future, and the only time we had something modern was with the Modern Warfare series, and those were phenomenal because they had technology that was futuristic with like the Javelin and everything else that was just coming out, and to see where we were and where we were heading while still keeping it in reality was something unique.
Yeah, I think the Desert Storm era would be cool. Vietnam would be cool. It's just, I don't know, man. I'm a big first-person shooter guy. I've told people this. I think that the genre just gets kind of stale sometimes. So they got to try to reinvent it sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't fly with gamers. Gamers are fickle. They don't like anything, so it's hard to get shit out there that they're gonna like. But I think we can agree that boots on the ground is the way to go, and then some other things. But I personally, like I said, I think Call of Duty is gonna curb stomp Battlefield if they do this World War II thing. I'm not happy about it because personally I prefer Battlefield. So
it's gonna be Call of Duty Battle Royale next.
That might sell.
with it.
Call of Duty after school behind the gym. That's what Ryan.
Oh,
that was awesome, dude. That's why I was laughing. Like Call of Duty after school behind the gym.
Oh my
Right.
god, dude.
Catch me there. How about that?
As you guys can tell, we're getting loopy here, folks. Shout out to Jay Fonzarelli.
Jay Fonz.
We miss you, buddy. That was our last topic, so we're gonna do our outros and we'll get out of here and we'll get to gaming. I want to thank the chat. The chat is lit. The chat was fun tonight.
Dude, the chat was hella lit.
Some next level shit right there.
Hey, I mean, look at us. We have 57 watching right now, and at 62
likes, bro.
Yo, come on, let's get 3 more. Get it up to 65.
I gotta give Supersonic a shout out right now for that recipe. I don't know what that's for, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put the shit together and see what comes out.
Oh god, dude. So anyway, you guys got me a loss for words here. Very, very awesome podcast. It's weird because I just have this this premonition when I know shit's gonna be lit. Like I was hyped up as fuck before the chat. You know, before we get Mel was laughing at my gifts that I was putting in our DMs, but damn, dude, it was. I was excited. I was looking at the clock. I was like, damn, it's not time to even go on yet. What is going on?
Man, dude,
we're all passionate,
gifts, man.
You know. So let's get on with these outros. I want to thank the guests again. We'll start with Titan Drago. Thanks for coming on. Where can people find you?
Man, I'm everything at Titan Drago. You name it. I'm on Xbox Live at Titan Drago. We can play some freaking PUBG and smoke some people. And don't forget on my channel at Titan Drago on YouTube. Let's bring the common back to sense.
Oh my god, dude!
Smoke some people.
He just did a bump. All right. Next up.
Yeah.
What's up? Oh snaps! It's Mel. Thanks for coming on again. Where can people find you?
Thank you for inviting me. It was so much fun. I wish I could join you guys every week. But you guys can find me on Twitter at girlscangame22 and here on YouTube. Oh snap! It's Mel. And you know, anywhere else you want to find me, just follow me on Twitter.
And let's work on that coffee endorsement, everybody.
Yes, work on that coffee endorsement.
I think Death Wish Coffee. Did you try to hit them up? I don't know.
No, I didn't.
Ooh, do it.
All right, so here's I'm gonna what do you call it? I'm gonna grab a couple companies that I want to sponsor me, and then I'm gonna send messages to everybody, and then you guys will all harass them.
Oh yeah, let's do
That's
it.
how we're gonna do it. Okay.
Any publicity is good publicity. Let's go.
Sure, it's true.
I'm ready.
Next up, our used to be permanent panel member. We're happy to have you back.
Hey.
Nintendo Direct. Where can people find you?
Man, they can find me on YouTube, Nintendo Direct. You can follow me on Twitter, at Nintendo Direct. The I on indirect is a 1. Thanks for having me back on, man. Like I said, I've been watching from afar from work for the last 3 to 4 weeks, and you guys have been doing well, and I've just been missing being back on. And so I finessed my way out of a day. I finessed my way out of a day off, into a day off of work.
God damn it!
I finessed my way into a day off of work, for the direct, and then you messaged me and said, "Hey man, do you want to be on the podcast?" And I said, "You know what? Yes, I do want to be on that podcast. It's been a minute. I haven't talked to the homies. I haven't been in the chat." Supersonic Stations has been trolling all chat. I love it. But man, I miss everybody, man, and I appreciate you having me back on. Subscribe to me. I don't care if you hate Nintendo, just subscribe.
I love you, man. Hit a good oh my god.
Oh yeah. He is on it tonight.
So last up we got Bloody Knuckles. Where can people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at Bloody Knuckles. The O are zeros and the E is a 3. And of course, they can also find me on my show on Saturdays, Smash Podcast. We go on at 2 p.m. Central. No episode this week, but we will be back next week. We're talking about your little corner of geeky goodness, all things movies, anime, manga. You name it, we got it.
Jesus. Oh my god.
I love the chat,
so
dude.
there will be a chat replay, like we said.
Chat,
that's a new thing
God,
installed by YouTube. So you will get to check out the goodness of the chat. It's been funny as fuck. So
oh my gosh, dude.
Great.
Last but not least, Irrelevant Native. How you doing? Where can people find you?
Save the irrelevancy for last. I like it. You can find me here on the Saltiest podcast every freaking Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. You can catch us all here with our shenanigans. You can catch me here just doing what I do, saying what I say, and not really caring what you got to say, but I'll listen to it.
Where's that mute button?
All right, there you go. No, man, it was great. We had a phenomenal show tonight. Nick, it's always a freaking pleasure having you and talking to you and hearing what you got to say coming from your perspective.
Yep.
As a Nintendo dork. Nintendo, that was it. Nintendo dork. Yeah.
Nintendo dork, Nintendo
Same thing with you,
loser, whatever you want to call me.
With Mel, you're always fantastic. Glad to have finally had you on and everything. It's been great. Titan, I'm sure I'll catch you on PUBG later on today or tomorrow or something, dude. You're crazy killer, man. Good stuff. Bloody nipples. You're right, dude. You're right. I'm all right. Shout out to Jay Fonz and Punk who couldn't be here tonight. Shout out to you, my dude. And Fonz, we miss you, man. Hopefully you're on soon.
The longest outro award goes to Native. Good
Let's
shit.
go. Let's go.
I should have went longer.
What happens when you save it for last?
So anyway, I guess I'll get my outro. Saltiest Gaming, you're here on the channel. Today's episode 26 was amazing. It's just going to keep getting better. I think there's a lot of people that still don't know that we're going to be on Thursday nights continually. This is a permanent thing. You can find us at 8:30 Eastern, the real time, according to Mel. That's where you can find us. The guests were awesome. I appreciate you guys again. The chat was awesome.
Chat was lit.
I released a couple videos. I released a video on, what was it, Hellblade, and some other videos. You should check those out as well. So anyway, that's going to do it for episode 26. On your way out, hit that like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed. As always, stay salty, my friends.
Nipples.